Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Luke. I go by COD God, and this is me showing my face to the poker world, taking my shot at the poker content game. I've been trying to make content for a long time now, and as of lately, I've been getting really good at cards and text hold'em. So I thought I would take my shot at this side of YouTube. As you can see by the title, I got my first big score, so that was pretty sweet. I was like playing my life on this one. I was sweating bullets on this one, man. I had another week recently where I won 2 in 1 week, so that was freaking awesome. I thought I had a lot of unique perspective into the game, and as of lately I've been deep in my studies, so now I thought was a better time than ever than to try to capitalize on this stuff, to try to do the YouTube thing before I dive back into the game, especially since I want some money. I need to sit on it. Don't want to go off blowing that shit, so I'm going to try not to keep this video too long. I really wanted to make this an analytical video. I'm not here to teach the basics. I'm trying to put you guys on the game, okay? So I hope you guys learned something and enjoy the video. All right, so to kick things off here, we pick up pocket queens. We just end up calling it all in. We get quads. I forgot that even happened, so I guess that's a good start. I am playing this other game. I am low-key crushing the fuck out of that game, but I didn't end up cashing that one, unfortunately. I have won that event, though, that nightly PKO that they do on WPT. I have won that event, but I'll probably go into that one in another video. So it looks like we get Queen 10. I was playing really tight. I was playing my freaking life here, so I thought that was a good spot to go all in. I might have been in last place right there, so that was like a really good spot to go all in, I felt like, especially when you're not playing a lot of hands. They tend to believe you, especially at this stage in the tournament, right? And that was a pretty good hand to go all in with. Looks like we pick up pocket 8s here. I stick in the min raise. I get raised pretty big. And while pocket 8s isn't a terrific hand, it's pretty damn good. And given, I mean, I only have, what, 5 blinds in my stack? So we really just have to go with it. Luckily, he only has king jack. We rivered a straight. So, or no, we turned a straight. He rivered a pair. So luckily we hit the straight, or else we would have lost that pot. So that was pretty lucky. He got us chipped up pretty good now. All right, so for these next 2 hands, we're going to go over a pro play of mine, put y'all on game on something. So the strategy here is you're the first to act, you fucking raise that shit, and they all fold. I usually do this with any hand, but it's even better when you actually have a hand to work with. It's unbeatable. They all fold every time. All right, so I had to move the camera now that we're back to one table. I don't know why WPT doesn't let you full screen. It just doesn't let you do that. I don't know why, but anyway, we get king queen. This guy goes all in, and if I had to put all my chips in, I would definitely fold this. But since I would still have chips behind, and we're seeing the flip, we're seeing all the cards, right? So we're just gonna go with it, and we get pretty lucky considering he was ahead. We get a king and we hold, and we get a scoop and a knockout. All right, so this next hand was pretty crucial. We do have a stack to work with. If we get one more knockout, we are down to 2 tables. So we're faced with pretty much a min raise. We flop top pair in position. Now we're just trying to get value. We're really hoping he doesn't, he could easily have a 10 beat here. So we just get the value. He calls. We try to get value again on the turn, and he folds. So pretty good scoop there. Puts us in midfield. We pick up a really good hand, and everyone folds. Right here, we try to do our famous move, and it actually doesn't work out. So maybe I lied about it working. All right, so this next hand was pretty interesting. We see a free flop. We hit a pair. I call his donk lead. and we're 3 ways, so I'm not feeling great about this. He bets again, so that's telling me he actually might have an overpair, or he might have a 10. And then whenever the player behind me calls, I feel much better about my fold. And then we river a full house, but when you think about it, I mean, this is like the worst possible full house, right? Because any pocket pair that's not 2s or 3s is going to win. Any 10 wins. So I'm feeling pretty good about my fold there for sure. And we're down to 2 tables now. Very first hand of the 2 tables. We pick up ace jack with no action behind us, unfortunately. We get an ace. I decide to donk lead here because I feel like donk leading is a sign of weakness, right? So whenever I donk lead here, it's me saying like I want to see where I'm at. He'll think he's capitalizing on it. He probably thinks I'm going to fold here, or if he has an ace, he's just going with it. If he has a flush draw, he's just going with it because he's like the shortest stack, right? So I put in like a 2 big blind bet, 2.5. Yeah, he just goes with it. He has an ace, but I just got to dodge a 5. This was like the perfect play because I know I'm not up against ace king or ace queen. I'm probably not up against pocket 10s. So I can stick in the bet here, and he's going to go all in with a 10, an ace, a flush draw. I mean, I have like all those hands beat. So yeah, that worked out really well. Right here, I get greedy. My stack is looking healthy, so I try to make a move, and it doesn't quite work out. It's a good try, though. Hand was pretty interesting. I do my famous move, the under the gun donk raise, but I actually have a monster under the bed this time. I get called. We go check on the flop, and then on the turn, I lead out, and I get called. Now, the river came a diamond. Now, this is a very interesting river. Now, obviously, 4 diamonds is a pretty good spot to bluff. Any diamond wins, right? So, the fact that I stuck out a bet on the turn at first could mean that I don't have one and that I didn't want him to catch up. But since it did come, or if I put out another bet on the river, that could mean that I'm holding one. And I mean, he's just never calling if he doesn't have one, right? So a pretty easy bluff spot, especially considering that we have the chips to fire off. It ends up working out. So chipping up. All right, so this next hand is probably hand of the tournament. There was one more when we were heads up that was pretty sick, but this one was like definitely hand of the tournament. So we pick up big slick on the button. I'm thinking I'm just gonna raise it and everyone's gonna fold, but we actually get a re-raise from Dex, our freaking nemesis. We actually end up being heads up later. Spoiler alert. He re-raises me. I don't stick in the re-raise because he's probably gonna call, right? Like obviously. I mean, there's some big prizes in this, so I mean, he has something. We know that. At least I think. So we just call it, play it slow. We miss, and we hate seeing the queen. He donk leads. Okay, so this is very interesting because he's doing this to try to see where he's at. He could either be trying to see where he's at, or there's a slim chance he's value betting. I mean, if you have something, you're going to check every time because I obviously have a good hand, right? Since I'm in the pot still and there's like, what, $500,000 in there? So I stick in the call. And with the plan of, okay, if he bets, we fold. If he checks, we bet. So he checks. So obviously, right, his bet was just him navigating. I read him like a book, man, and I just stick it in. He uses his whole time bank pretty much, or at least that's what it feels like. I'm like out of my seat at this point. I'm like freaking the fuck out, dude, because I'm like playing my life here, and it gets through. My heart was pumping, dude. Oh my god! And now we're the chip leader. Let's go. All right, so this one was also a super crucial hand. We got an under the gun raise. I go ahead and call. It's only a min raise. We're heads up. I'm in position. We're only 2 away from the final table. I get a pair of aces on the flop. I go ahead and value bet. Now with the turn 8, our hand just becomes so amazing here because kickers don't matter unless he specifically has ace king or an 8. Then we're kind of screwed. Now I bet again and he calls, and now we river the nuts. So with this guy having twice as many chips as us, we gotta try to extract something. We bet out almost a $250,000 and he calls. What a dream spot. So this one, this guy just has such little chips. We call him with Jack 10 and we actually get there. And now we're on the final table, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so this is the first hand that we got involved with on the final table. Whenever I get to final tables, I usually try to like chill because I've been on a lot now, and if you open up early and you try to make a move or too early, then you're just going to get busted. You want to try to survive some bust outs because these are when the pay jumps actually matter. So I'm sitting here, I'm the chip leader. I get jacks, I raise it, and then I'm faced with a giant bet. And something that I've learned recently is that yes, I could call here with jacks, but realistically it's like, okay, just because I'm the chip leader doesn't mean I can't still like think this through clearly. Right? I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should buy it. Now, granted, I would have knocked out Curtin, but at the end of the day, I am really happy with my fold. All right, so this one, I pull my famous move. I raise under the gun. I'm holding something. I'm holding a little something. Guy goes all in, man. And I just got to risk a quarter of my stack to see or just run it out. And I just can't help myself, and I just go with it because I'm thinking like, well, if I win this pot, then like the tournament's mine easily. But it doesn't work out. I probably should have thought that one out further. We get saved by the bell. We get ace jack suited. We're faced with the raise. This guy, Johnny, goes all in. I just go ahead and stick all my chips in there because I'm sure whatever Wang is holding, he's not going to be willing to bet all of his chips, I would bet, and that's why I did it. So, and even if, I mean, obviously if he calls, I'm beat, but I'm still pretty live. But he does end up folding, and we just got to dodge a 9, and we end up scooping, and we're right back to where we were. All right, so for this one, it folds around. We're on the button. I feel like this is a good opportunity to steal because we have a decent hand, and we're in position. So we min raise it, or 2.5 raise it, and we get called. We turn a straight, and we're thinking like, dude, this is the perfect time to bet because there's just no way we're ever holding a straight. But it doesn't get through, and he folds. All right, so for this one, we get pocket 9s. We are faced with a short stack all in, and I think this is just a good opportunity to call. I feel like, I mean, I guess he is getting really short, but I feel like if he had a really good hand, he's probably putting in half his stack maybe. But we are really deep, and like everyone essentially has no blinds. I mean, I'm sitting here with 900, or I was sitting on a million chips, and I had 20 blinds, so we're pretty deep now. But unfortunately, he's holding aces, and we don't get it through. But luckily, we have the chips, right? So if I had a shorter stack, I probably would have folded there for sure. This next hand is pretty interesting. This guy in front of me goes all in. It's only 3 big blind. The big blind is 60K now, so it's pretty massive. We get a call, and then we call, considering we have a monster, so we go with it. Something that I've learned is that if there's an all-in, or a short stack all-in, and yours heads up on the side, especially from the beginning, there is really no gain from bluffing, because there's really nothing to win. Because it's like, if you don't have a good hand, like in this case I only had high card, if we're against 2 players, chances are we're beat, right? Especially since we're final table and the stakes are super high now. I mean, there's really, in these situations, there's hardly any value in bluffing, especially since if he does fold, you're forced to flip over your hand, and he's going to see that you bluffed him, and so is the whole table. So, and then if you bluff and you end up losing to the opponent, there is no side pot. You're not winning any side pot unless there's hella action up to the river or whatever. Then there's a side pot to win, I guess. But at this point, I mean, there's no side pot. There's really no point. And usually when you're bluffing, you want to win something, right? Not just your bet back. So, yeah, we're playing our lives here, and we just check all the way down. And he actually does. I was thinking about, you can see I was thinking about bluffing on the river. But he had an ace, and he scooped it. So we're down to 5. All right, so check this one out. We got the pocket 5s. We get a flop, and we get a set. Let's go. What a time. Is there any better time to flop a freaking set, man? Oh, my God. So we end up trapping the flop. We call a bet on the turn. We really wanted to raise because we were almost afraid of him catching up. But something that I've been learning is that you really can't be afraid of monsters under the bed. And we really can't be afraid of him catching up. And when the river's a blank, man, he goes all in. What a dream. Oh my God, he goes all in. Unfortunately, he still has chips, but not much to work with. He does get a 2 or 3 double ups, so we're sitting here like waiting for this guy to leave, and it just takes forever, but it does eventually happen. All right, so this one is pretty straightforward. We pretty much flop the world here, and he bets into us. I feel like it's a good time to raise because since we're 3-ways now, so the game is totally changed from when the table was full. So now that we're 3-ways, I think a raise is a really good move because a lot of the time I'm bluffing. So I put it in, and I have the top pair, and I have room to catch up to flush too. So pretty straightforward. All right, so on this one, we pull the same move, but we're going against the other opponent, and we're actually bluffing this time. Switching it up, and it gets through. Something that I also wanted to mention about this hand is that you'll notice that he's donk leading on the flop. So that's really important because if you raise his bet, like if he leads out and you raise, he's going to fold like every time, like straight up. All right, so for this one, our short stack goes all in, and he busts out of the tournament. So now we're heads up for the trophy, man. Let's go. So, thoughts going into the heads up. I am feeling super confident about beating this player because we've been battling for like a couple of hours on these final tables, and I've been reading or trying to understand his game. He has twice as many chips as me right here, but I'm thinking he thinks that he's won already. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is he thinks that he's got to scoop this win, and I'm about to take it from him, bro. I'm about to get the steal. I feel like he's been hyper aggressive the whole tournament, and like he's probably, like I said, confident that he's won already. So I feel like I got this on lock. Even though I got half the chips that he does, I'm already very confident in my ability to scoop this thing. All right, so check it out. Very first hand, we flop a flush. He checks, we bet, get a call. I try to bet again on the turn, and he ends up just folding. So for this next hand, we get a pretty good hand, pocket eights. We just call the big blind, so let's try to slow play. Of course, he raises it. I know this is a hyper aggressive player, like I said, so I'm really trying to play his game here. He raises, we just call. When the flops come out, they're all low, so we got the overpair. And when he bets out again, especially when it's a donk lead, I typically just like to raise all the leads like that. When I have it like this, though, I am really afraid of him catching up, because if he has like ace high or like ace king, he could easily catch up. So I play it safe. I re-raise it, and I'm thinking if he raises it again, I'm probably just gonna have to fold. But he does end up folding, and so far we're playing an excellent game here. All right, so right here we do pick up a monster, so we raise it after he just calls, and we see a flop. And for heads up, I kind of like what I see. I suppose not, because he is likely to connect with this being such a big pot already, right? I do call one time because I've noticed that every time I call his bluff, he always gives up on the turn. But this time he puts out a bet. So this time I think he really has it. So I just have to let it go, even though it puts us back to where we started. Unfortunately, I just have to give up and move on to the next one. All right, so right here, we get some redemption with the ace-10 in the offsuit this time. We get raised, and even though it's hard in these situations, this is essentially a $4,000 heads up. I stick in the re-raise because, I mean, for heads up, I got a pretty damn good hand. So we go in, it's almost $1 million in the middle, and he bets out on the flop. Now, I must have been in the freaking zone here, but because I'm like, holy crap, like I can't believe I bet that. But like we said, this guy, he just can't give it up. Like, I call it, and what do you know? He checks on the turn. He gives up. And whenever we river second pair, that is such an easy bet, man. And he folds. And now we're even. All right, so for this one, it's really the same thing. I call his bet on the flop, and this time on the turn, I mix it up and I put in a bet, and he ends up folding. So we're in the lead now. All right, so for this one, I raise it. I'd min raise it, and I'm feeling pretty good about this hand. I mean, suited jack 8 heads up is pretty decent, especially when we have 2 overs and the turn brings us a gut shot. That's why we end up continuing when he bets on the turn. On the river, I have plans of bluffing him if he checks, but he ends up betting and he takes it down. All right, so we're getting really close to the end here. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like. I'm live on Twitch. I'm not really playing much poker, but I am playing a lot of Battlefield. The new Battlefield's coming out. I'm super hyped about that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the ride all this way through. Earlier I had that bluff with the ace king, and I mentioned that I had another crazy hand. This is it right here. This was even crazier than that one, really, and this one ultimately probably won me the tournament. We were faced with a min raise before the flop. We called it. We were faced with the same bet on the flop, and we called it. On the turn, he bets again, and we call it. And now the river is an ace. Now I'm thinking I'm out of position. I'm thinking this is the perfect card for him to bluff with. Or even for me to bluff with. Now, I'm also thinking if he was bluffing the whole way through until now, he's just going to check back because if he like rivered an ace, he can just easily check back the ace and scoop this huge pot. But now, whenever he bets out $500,000 on the rivered ace, while it is tricky, we are heads up, so the chances of him having a made hand are super low. And I mean, I've caught him bluffing all tournament, and I mean, this is just almost feels obvious. I mean, he's pulling the damn triple barrel. At this point, for me, the triple barrel is a beginner's move, dog. Like, can't pull that on me. We call it. Call him with the 6, baby. Let's go. That was a sick call. Oh my god. All right, so we're on the final hand of the tournament. We pick up ace king. We're faced with a min raise, and we just go ahead and stick them all in because that's the first time I've done it all tournament, and it's gonna look like I'm bullying because in his mind he's like, oh, he's just using his image to do this, and I mean he's probably just going with whatever he's got because he is low on chips, and he has ace 5, so we just gotta dodge a 5. Can you imagine a 5? And just like that, man, we were just a few bucks short of a freaking 5-figure score, man. That was a sick run. Oh my god. I was zoned in, son. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching this. If you made it this far, I hope you can consider dropping a sub and liking the video. I am kind of new to this YouTube thing. Even though I've been making content for a while, I'm more of just on the streaming side of things. I am kind of new to the video making process, so I hope you can consider giving my channel a shot. These videos will improve over time. I already have a future project in mind where I won 2 tournaments in 1 week, so that's going to have to be a 2-part video. I did have another one where I almost won the Boski Daily Double Jackpot, where you essentially have to win both of the Boski tournaments in one night. I got final table on one, and then I came in like 13th on the other one, so I was mad close. I might not even make that one. We'll see. But we hopefully we'll see some more wins in the future. And yeah, thanks y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one.